Hello everybody and welcome to something I think you'll find pretty epic. We're intending to make the entirety of the Undertale map into Minecraft, all on survival mode on the Shadowtopia server. We're going to be building and terraforming on an epic scale, and I can't wait to show you what we're going to do. In this first video we're going to be doing the first room as well as Flowey's room. Let's start the time lapse. And there we go. After a stupid amount of work, this room is finally complete, and oh my word, doesn't it look cool? I love every bit of this build. This is the first room you see in Undertale, and honestly in Undertale it's very plain. All it is grey walls and stuff like that. But here I really think we've done it justice. You know, we've got these giant pillars holding up the roof. We've got the bed of golden flowers. We have we have monsters attacking us, which is kind of appropriate. Oh, I love it. I love the atmosphere. The atmosphere of this place is so awesome. And yeah, I can't wait to build the rest of the underground. I think this is a strong start to what we want to do here. And here we are in our creative test world, and take a look at this. This is just some of the modelling that we're doing, just to kind of get an idea of the scale of this. And oh my word, it's huge. The scale of this build is so large. We're currently in Hotland. You see the blue building over there is the core, and then we've just mapped out the approximate size and shape of every room in the game. We've modelled this place partially just to get an idea of the scale of the build, so we know where we can build it on the server. But also there's some classic scenes like the classic view to the castle from Waterfall, and we had to make sure that the size of the rooms were appropriate so that we would actually get that view in Minecraft. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the build. We have these, we have the golden flowers here. Now you might notice we've got these coral fan things, and this is actually one of Doja's ideas. If you put water and then a slab, you can actually put the coral block and it won't die, which I think is awesome. I had no idea. So that's pretty cool. The block palette we've gone for is pretty plain, honestly. We just have stone, andesite and cobblestone. It gives a really cold, empty feeling, and that's exactly what we were going for. We were considering putting like lighting in the back, but it kind of makes it feel kind of warm and cozy, whilst we really wanted this to be kind of like a tomb. And of course it is actually Kara's final resting place under these flowers, so it is kind of an empty tomb in a way. When monsters were first imprisoned underground, they moved into what we now call the ruins, and I just imagine this place is somewhere they tunneled into, and that like they realized that this is the one place they could still see the sun. So then all monsters would kind of gather here to see see what they'd lost, really. And it's just a really sad, empty place. And then bearing in mind this is also Kara's final resting place. It's not confirmed in game, but it's pretty well agreed upon that this is where Kara was buried by Toriel. And it makes sense, you know. Toriel would bury her child where the child would see the sun, you know. Another detail I'd like to mention is these pillars. The design of the pillars is fairly straightforward. But what we realised, they look a whole lot better if there's just a little bit of light catching the edge of them. So what we've done over here is we've actually drilled a hole through the stone. We've covered it in carpet so you can't really see it, but it just means that these pillars are slightly illuminated. And it means they pop out from the grey background. And I think that makes it look a lot better. And then over here by the exit we have the corridor that leads off to Flowey's room. And in the game it's kind of a straight corridor, but we decided to take some creative liberty and we kind of made it like a ravine. So the way I imagine it is that monsters would have tunneled into this place from the ruins, and they would have discovered this ancient ravine, and then they would have made a path through it. So over time monsters would have worn away this path through the ravine. And I think it looks really, really cool that way, rather than it being just a straight tunnel. Making it natural like this really makes it pop. Now you might notice we have a bit of a mob problem, and it at the minute it's not even that bad. We have a few zombies, we have a creeper up on the cliffs there, but this is a SMP survival server, and when a lot of people get on, it gets crazy. So many mobs spawn in this area, it's actually ridiculous. Now you might have noticed as I've been flying in and out of here that there's these giant glass platforms up in the sky, and you might be wondering, Squid, what on earth are these for? Well, this is actually my master plan to reduce mob spawning. Basically this makes use of subchunks, and it basically means that mobs won't spawn as frequently below this glass platform. We can demonstrate this on a creative world. So on the right hand side we have a glass platform up at the sky limit, and on the left hand side we just have nothing in the sky. So let's see what happens now when we turn the difficulty on. And after waiting for a bit you can see that the left hand side has far more monsters than the right hand side. This creeper might have spawned on the right hand side, I'm not quite sure, but all the rest are on the left. And I've done this test quite a few times, it does work. So basically when the game decides it wants to spawn a monster, it'll pick a random point like this. And then it will search for the highest block in this area. So in this case it's right there, and then it will concentrate the spawning at this point and below. So what we can do is if we put a block up here, it means the game will spread out the spawning attempts between the bottom and this block right here. If this block is at world height limit, it means the spawning attempts will be spread between the top and the bottom, and it means there'll be far less spawning attempts in the actual build. Can I just say, flying down Mount Ebert into the underground is one of the most fun things you can do. Alright, here we are, we're coming in hot. Whoa! Oh, I love it so much. Alright, so as much as I'd like to sit around looking at this build for hours on end, I totally haven't been doing that. We need to make progress. We've got a lot to do in this project, and we definitely need to get at least one more room done before the end of this episode. So it's time for Flowey's room. The first thing we had to do when building Flowey's room was to choose a size and an area that we wanted to do it. Now the main room we did was 60 by 60, and that was intentionally big because we wanted the first room to be very impressive. You know, it was the opening to the build, so we wanted it to be nice and dramatic. Flowey's room, however, doesn't need to be anywhere near that big. It's basically a pitch black room with just the golden flower and the grass in the middle. So we decided on a 30 by 30 area, which still took ages to mine out, but I think it was much more of an appropriate size. The next thing we wanted to avoid was just having a flat patch of grass in the middle of a bunch of stone. So we decided we wanted to raise the grass and make it into a mound. And I thought it's a really nice dramatic shot when you kind of walk in the room and you just see Flowey up on this mound. I thought it makes him look kind of more intimidating, and it just makes the whole room a little bit more interesting. Next we needed to shape the rock. Now the rock itself, this was my first time actually shaping the rock on a large scale on survival. In the main room, Doge did kind of the overall rock shaping, and then I added the detail. So this was my first real attempt at trying to shape the rock into kind of an interesting pattern. And I think I did an okay job. I still think there's a few things I might be able to add to it, but for now I think this looks pretty decent. And here we are in the completed room, and I think this looks really cool. We have Flowey in the middle right here. Hello. We have some stalagmites from the floor. I haven't added any stalactites at the ceiling yet. I was trying to decide whether we needed any. I think I probably will add some in the future. But for now I kind of want to call it done and move on. But we can always come back and add some extra detail. You might notice some lighting glitches up here. That's just the slabs being glitchy. I can go around and knock the torches out behind there, and that should sort it out. And yeah, we're going to see what it looks like without any torches in. So let's see what that looks like right now. And here we go. This is it. This is the room. Oh, it looks so very cool. Oh, I love the atmosphere. We just got the solitary golden flower in the middle. But yeah, this is it. This is all we're going to do for today. But in the next video, we're going to be doing... hello, slime. In the next one, we're going to start the ruins. We've got a design planned out for the first room. We want to make that nice and dramatic. And then we've got kind of a decent idea how we want to go on forwards with that. But yeah, I don't know what to say. The first two rooms done, and this sort of corridor area. Alright, I'm going to try and do my outro quickly because there's so many monsters around. But I want to thank Doge for doing the time-lapse and also being my project partner. I want to thank the Shadowtopia community as a whole, you know, because it's a really wholesome place. We can build this sort of thing without you know, people coming around with TNT and blowing it all up. Oh, hello. I want to thank Banana for lending us some beacons, and thanks to you, the viewer, because without you, all of this would be impossible. Good night.